Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of A2Y. I am your host, Addison Young, as always and forever. And I do apologize for the brief content pause. I've been doing different things here at Roto. I've been doing conversations with Gary, which is Gary Wright's podcast, and you guys should go check it out. It's on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcast. I think it's actually not there yet, but it definitely is on YouTube. I'm working on getting it on the other podcast platforms. I've been hired to produce that. I'm now official here at Roto, but there's another reason for the content pause, and that is I went on vacation. And you know this phrase, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? Well, I took a bunch of shots and I went 0 for 5 or something like that. I went to Lexington, Kentucky for New Year's with Caleb Bream, who, if you've watched the show, you know who he is. And we went and we tried to do a bunch of different things. We tried to shoot a music video. We tried to shoot a podcast. And we tried to we tried to take 2 other songs and produce them. He was playing his guitar. We were both singing. And ultimately, I think I've had to scrap it all because the microphone I took was not this one. This one is great. But I went and got a different one. It's actually been used on an episode. So if you go digging through some previous episodes, you'll find it. And while it was there, it was not a professional studio setting. And so it crapped out. The audio is all choppy, garbage. I have had to scrap everything. And so has Asher, he was producing the music for us. He's had to scrap pretty much all of it too. But a great learning experience, and it was very fun to do, and it was great to be on vacation. And while I was on vacation, I was thinking about what I want the show to be. And I was thinking about what I got the inspiration of the show from. And that's really 4 main podcasts. I used to listen to many more podcasts, but I've stopped over time. They used to be, fantasy football, video games, all that stuff, but really it's down to these 4. First 2, barely worth mentioning. They're 2 media personalities covering politics. Just one does it from more comedic perspective. And the other 2 are really where this current show was inspired from and continues to be inspired by. First one, you've heard me talk about it in the past, Cooper stuff. John Cooper, he's the main lead singer of Skillet, my favorite band. Started his own podcast. What was it about? A2Y's 2 years old almost. Would have been about 2.5 years ago, called Cooper Stuff. The logo's behind me. He started it, and I can remember I watched the first episode, and even though he has billions of streams on so many music platforms, he only had about 132 views on this first podcast episode. And I said, if he can do it with just a wood panel background and a microphone, I can do it. So I went ahead and started A2Y. Huge inspiration. I still listen to it. And this last one was Dennis Prager's Fireside Chats. And that's what really inspires the show to this day. And I'm really kind of ripping it off the way he does it to do this show. Now, no matter how you feel about him from his other works of his radio show and PragerU, these fireside chats are so good for everyone to listen to. About 30 minutes, very short and sweet, and they cover big topics such as happiness, finding happiness in this real world full of all kinds of struggles. He's releasing the Rational Bible, which is 4 books of the Bible, and he's doing it very rationally. He's debunking it, making it very rational in our minds while keeping the biblical principles intact. I haven't read them yet, but the reviews are astounding. You guys should definitely go check them out. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, I've been listening to all these podcasts recently, and I've been thinking about, what do I want my show to be? And the show has really transformed from what used to be an hour of content. Went back, watched some of those episodes of Caleb while on vacation. Wow, the amount of cringe. But from an hour of wow, English. I'm just getting back into it, guys. From an hour of content to 15-minute sermons. And I didn't really do that change of purpose. It just kind of happened. I've been listening to what God wants the show to be, and I really think that's where he wants it. Why? I have no clue. That's what it is, and that's what it's looking like it's going to continue to be. And on these 4 shows, this topic keeps coming up on all of them. It's been done on multiple episodes on some, just one episode on one of them. But on all 4 of those shows, they've all covered this topic, and that is purposelessness. Our society has a big problem with purposelessness. And as a very empathetic person, I've been struggling with it. How could you have no purpose in life? How can you be going about life with no purpose? Well, it's very simple. If you don't have God in your life, it's very hard to find purpose, because otherwise you're just going to be looking into yourself for your truth and trying to find purpose there. And that usually ends up leading to desires of the flesh, trying to fulfill it that way, TV shows, drugs, whatever, trying to find happiness in things inside yourself. And that just ultimately, in the end, is not going to lead to any kind of fulfillment. It's very empty, very shallow. And this is a really big problem nowadays. I went and found an article from CNBC by Abigail Johnson Hess, titled 51% of young Americans say they feel down, depressed, or hopelessness. And here's a direct quote. Young adult mental health was in a crisis state before the pandemic. Even in 2019, we were seeing up to 30% of 18 to 25-year-olds struggling with their mental health, and this is the highest prevalence of any age group. So, of all the age groups, people my age are having the biggest mental health problems. And that's just with hopelessness and such. And that quote is from Caitlin Briorty. Sorry if I mispronounced that, an Illinois-based partnership coordinator at Young Invincibles. There's a serious crisis for people between 16 to 30. The article says 18 to 25. I'm going to go 16 to 30, just in my opinion. The society we live in now has taken a direct step and away from religion. They look down upon religion. It's just these rules for life, and they don't offer anything serious. So you need to look into your side yourself, find your truth, and go out and do what makes you happy. And that's leading, in my opinion, to the problem we have today. I mean, look, people my age are more depressed and anxious than ever before in recorded history. Even in world wars, people were less anxious, less depressed than now. It's crazy when you think about it. And you're trying to think what's going on, what could be leading to this. I think it's people turning around from the truth. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. He is the truth. So if you want to find the truth in society, better start looking outside yourself and look to the Gospels, because that's where the real truth is. So let's go there. What does the Gospel say about purpose? Well, here we got Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, and to give you a future and a hope. Well, that right there sounds way better than anything the world's telling you. There's nothing in the world telling you to look to something outside of yourself that has a plan for your life, something good, something fulfilling, a future and a hope. How many times have we been told that the world's going to end in 12 years just in my lifetime? Let alone, I have an older brother, he's 27. How many times has he heard in his lifetime that the world's going to end? I think the world was already supposed to end twice just in my lifetime. I'm not even 19. How can you produce headlines like that and expect people to have hope for their future? Here's another one. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. The Lord has made everything for its purpose, even the wicked for the day of trouble. Wow, is that totally different than any message you're getting from the world today? This verse literally says, in your worst days, there's purpose for it. There is purpose. There's purpose for your pain, and it's making you into a better person. It's equipping you to go out and do better things in your future, and your future is full of hope. These are biblical truths. These are things that you are being told that you have to know. So if you're struggling with lack of purpose, look to the Bible, because its truths will equip you with purpose to go out in your life. I'm not saying it's going to solve all your issues. It might lead to things getting harder. It usually does. But at least you'll have purpose and fulfillment in your life. And when you look back at it at the end, you know you're doing things that matter. Thank you for watching this episode of A2Y, and I will see you guys next time.